What's up, everybody? This is the Book of X, and we are back today for another episode of the Game Pass Spotlight. And the game I've chosen this week is Call of Duty World War II. So for those who aren't aware, Call of Duty World War II was the 2017 iteration of the Call of Duty franchise developed by Sledgehammer Games, and this one, as the title suggests, has its roots firmly in World War II. Now, at the time that this game came out, it was a departure from the Call of Duties we'd seen over the previous years that involved mech-based wall running style combat, running from Advanced Warfare through Infinite Warfare and Call of Duty Black Ops 3. Whereas what this did is it took the franchise back to some of its roots, offering a more of a grittier, boots on the ground experience to the campaign, the multiplayer and the co-op modes. So starting with the campaign, what you do in this game is you play it as a character called Private Ronald Daniels, who's a young soldier in the US 1st Infantry Division. And the story runs from June 1944 through to June 1945, the game kicking off with the infamous D-Day landing at Normandy. The last time we've seen an iteration of this battle was, I believe, way back in Medal of Honor Frontline, 2001, whereas what we got here was a much more substantial version and a much more gritty, a fantastic start to the game, but then it continues on through iconic battles that were experienced during World War II, such as Operation Cobra, the liberation of Paris, Hertigan Forest, and of course Battle of the Bulge. Unlike previous entries in the Call of Duty franchise, this one didn't have the auto heal. It went back to what we experienced in the old Call of Duty World War games, which was the sort of med kits and ammo style position. So you had to be very conscious, which made this game sort of a particularly more difficult on the veteran difficulty because of the requirement of those med kits. But This is a very fantastic campaign, one of the strongest campaigns that Call of Duty have had over the last decade. Not the strongest, I still think that belongs to Modern Warfare 2019, but it's still an excellent campaign that covers sort of themes of sort of team camaraderie along with trauma and the sort of the moral dilemmas that come from the conflict, and it's presented in a very cinematic fashion. So if you haven't played this Call of Duty campaign, I certainly suggest you jump into it. As with most Call of Duty campaigns, they're not overly long, so you can easily clear through this one in a single weekend. On the multiplayer front then, the multiplayer in this game looked really excelled for me. I loved the multiplayer when this launched, particularly using the shotgun that had the fire ammunition. It was so overpowered, but I think I played for a solid sort of 30-40 hours just with that gun, prestige the gun, and it just because it was so overly powerful that it became the gun that you turn to in combat all the time. But what sort of features does the multiplayer have here? So first of all, there's a social hub involved in Call of Duty World War II called the Headquarters, where you can interact and train and access challenges sort of in between matches alongside your friends. But features include this sort of Conquest, Team Deathmatch, War Mode, which War Mode is offering the narrative-driven objectives, but the Team Deathmatch and Conquest are sort of map experiences that we've come to understand in Call of Duty. But the map variety in this game I thought was a very strong side of this game. There are quite a few standout maps, but they introduced a new system in this game as well called divisions, like infantry, armored, airborne, that replaced the traditional class system that was in Call of Duty. So if the lobbies are populated, definitely jump into this one. There was some great variety of maps, weaponry, and so on, and I thoroughly enjoyed the online experience of this game alongside the campaign. And then finally we had the Nazi zombies, which was horror reborn. As is come to be expected with any Call of Duty game, you have the Nazi zombie style system that has been present essentially since Call of Duty World at War. But what this one was, it involved the original storyline involving occult experiments and the armies that were set in a Bavarian village where players would uncover secrets behind something called Project End Station, and then solving puzzles and facing enemies along the way. As far as the overall feel of this game, I thought this was fantastic. One of, as I mentioned, one of Call of Duty's strongest packages in the last 10 years, easily in the, I would say, the top 5 Call of Duties of the last 10 years. And it gave us sort of the fantastic sound design, authentic experience, and it was a nice change of pace returning to that historical setting, as it was the first one returning to a World War II setting in sort of 10 years of the franchise. I think the previous one was World at War, sorry. But whilst the campaign can have sort of cliche moments, overall it was a great experience. So if you haven't checked this one out, definitely do check out Call of Duty World War II. It's available on Game Pass right now. And if you enjoyed today's video, do hit the like and subscribe button. But also in the comments, if you have played World War II, do let me know your thoughts on where you sort of, do you also consider it sort of in the top 5 of the last sort of 10 years of Call of Duty, or are you less lukewarm, more lukewarm on this game than I am? Do let me know. But on that note, guys, enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll catch you on the other side.